Andrew, do you know who Chase Young is?
Yeah, of course.
No. My point is, I don't either.
Before I said that Cade Cunningham would never be an All-Star, and I just wanted to double down on that. I just.
We're back
What's going
with
on
another.
with Mike's video?
I know.
The NFL Pro Bowl and some Super Bowl hype. Let's go, Jam Squad. What's going on, Jam Squad? We are back. I'm Michael. I'm your host. I'm here with my guys, John, Andrew, and Mike, and we are jam-packed. What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
How's it
Hey,
going,
y'all.
boys? Getting excited.
That's right.
What's going on? What are you excited for?
I don't know. I mean, playing on soggy fields, I guess. I don't know.
Oh man. I feel a little empty this week. I know the NFL had their Pro Bowl, but it's not the Pro Bowl of old, right? There's no actual football game going on. I feel like I'm lacking something this week. For those that don't know, let me.
I mean, they had a
I'm
water
gonna-
balloon toss.
Don't they do that at
I'm
every
gonna-
Pro Bowl? Yeah.
I'm gonna pull this up real quick. For those that don't know, this is what they do for the NFL Pro Bowl. They actually broke it down into a bunch of events, and depending on how the AFC or NFC did on those events is how they got scored. And so they had stuff like dodgeball, snapshots, high stakes, precision passing, close to the pin. So some of them played some golf. The best catch, gridiron gauntlet, which was probably one of my favorites. Outside of precision passing, that's also one of a fave. Kick tack toe, moving the chains looked like it was pretty cool. Tug of war, and then Madden head to head. How that got into play is beyond me, but whatever. What that's got to do with being an all-star, I got some quick twitch fingers. I don't know. I don't know how. Did you guys catch any of the games this week?
I caught a little of them, but man, the NFL All-Star Game has to be the worst of all the major sports. Like, I've always thought this. Like, we're talking flag football. I mean, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? This ain't even the same game. Like, what other sport changes the game for their All-Star Game to highlight the All-Stars? I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just yeah, it's too much. They're trying.
But what can you do? A game that physical, you don't want guys getting injured at an all-star game. Guys don't want to go all out for the same reason. It's kind of like, what do you have to do at that point? A game this physical? NBA is pretty weak all-star games too, so.
But that's different. NBA's in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl out here is, it's supposed to have fun. It's kind of like your last hoorah or game before you go on vacation and then get ready for the season again. I mean, it used to be something cool to watch. Mike, you were telling me a story just before we got on.
Oh yeah,
about how it was out there, in Hawaii.
It used to be really big in Hawaii when they first started doing it. I mean, everybody would show up. My dad has pictures of my gigantic family in front of the Pro Bowl, the ABC Pro Bowl picture, where Drew lost power.
Lights went out.
But it was fun. It was fun to go because of all the extracurricular activities outside of just the game, right? But we were still wanting to go see the actual game.
Sure.
But seeing them like, you know, out on Waikiki playing beach volleyball or, you know, doing some of the other stuff was cool as well. Being able to go out and get their autographs was always awesome. Especially, I mean, I'm what, 6-7 years old at the time, trying to get all this done. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone with Drew in there.
Yeah, we need some more subscribers to pay Drew's electric bill.
I did, however, I pulled up some footage, and I'll try to get this going here. Essentially, like the NFL came through and started doing a bunch of these games, right? Like this is the AFC versus NFC dodgeball games, and I'm pretty sure they split it up into a couple of games. It was like AFC offense versus NFC defense, and then vice versa, and then who's going to win against who. But I mean, stuff like this would just be fun to watch. I mean, you see everybody in the crowd. It's not as packed as I would expect it to be. I mean, you got pros there. That's about as close as you're going to get to some of these players, right? Like, why not? Why not show up? Try to get some autographs. Try to meet some of these guys. Let's see if I can bring up a name.
I mean, I wouldn't want to get hit by one of those quarterbacks. I'll tell you that for sure. That's crazy. Team quarterback, I'm sure, won that one.
I think it was the offenses on both sides won their respective games, with good reason. I mean, receivers are catching the ball, right? More than DBs, and you got better throwers on offense than you do.
Right.
But some of these games I thought were a little more. I mean, I think they were fun. They're fun to watch, but do I necessarily want? Let's see if I can get this.
Laura, did you see how excited?
Yeah. Like at one point, I had seen on the AFC side they had a punter, and I'm like, wait, the Raiders punter was out there. And I'm like, there's no way. Okay, I'll give you an A for effort. Like, what is he doing out there? He's not outweighing anybody, and he's definitely not stronger than some of these linemen that are on the rope. Like, what in the world?
It looks like a Mr. Beast video right there, guys.
I'm telling you, what we got to do is figure out a way to get some of these games set up, and we'll start challenging some other sports podcasters. Like, hey,
That'd
game
be
on,
cool.
let's go.
Yep.
Did you see Puka Nakua fake sign the Deebo Samuel jersey?
No.
Oh no.
No,
Yeah,
I missed
someone was
that.
holding they had it all on camera. Someone was holding a Deebo Samuel jersey, and Puka walks up to it, and he's like pretending to sign inside it the whole time, and the pin's not even touching the jersey. It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. I've seen who was it? The last video I saw before we got on, it was Larry Fitzgerald. Somebody wanted a picture with him, but he was wearing a 49ers jacket, and he made him turn it inside out. He's like,
Wow.
no, you gotta turn that thing inside out before you take a picture with me. And he was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I'm serious. Take that jacket off. Like,
That's
I
funny.
made him turn it inside out. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're not even in the league anymore. Come on, man.
It's the
I would have been like, well, you got to
Yeah,
put
it
up a picture in front of your face of Jerry Rice to take a picture with me,
or Anquan Bolden or something.
right?
It's so funny. But I mean, the games were kind of, some of them were cool. One of the ones that I always enjoyed was the precision passing. I think I got a video of that one up here. Not that one. This one. Here we go.
Dan, this all early is part.
Oh yeah.
This would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know
Unless your name's Tua Tagovailoa.
Hey.
Oh, what's his name? Jalen Hurts was doing this challenge, and and apparently just bombed it to the point where the rumor has it that AJ Brown started sending a bunch of messages to the owner and to the GM requesting like I need out or he needs to be gone or like something needs to happen. I'm like, oh man, that's rough.
You know who beat him out? You know who beat him out? Dan Orlovsky. He doesn't play anymore. And Dan Orlovsky got like 17 or 19 points. I can't remember which one, but Dan Orlovsky beat him out. Yep. That's rough.
I think Tua finished last though, didn't he?
Yeah, but Jalen was like second.
Yeah, they were bad. But the funny part is, I mean, Tyreek Hill, that Tua is the most accurate passer in the NFL, and he comes out there and does the worst in that. I thought that was pretty ironic.
I mean, some of
I'll
these,
you
just throw it out there.
Game.
You just throw it out there. He'll run under it. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Makes him look good.
This was probably one of my favorite ones.
We start
right
that.
Here.
A reminder that
I don't know if it's just because I was the big dog coach. I called them big dogs. Big dogs got to eat, right? Look at these guys, man. They are moving, and nothing. I mean, if you can get a big guy who can sprint, will always be a good football player. I guarantee it.
You know what I thought was pretty cool was the where the center snapping the ball into it's like cornhole almost, but with the center snapping the ball. That was pretty cool.
I would find that so hard to do.
I'm ready.
I think here we go. Here we
We're
go.
gonna do
You're ready?
This one's neat. That's neat.
You know what? They're gonna get back to us on the tiebreaker.
That is so rough, man.
You're
practicing
for the one. He's smart.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the biggest target.
And then you get that little golden ball, so it counts as double.
Their accuracy is pretty impressive. I mean, that's pretty consistent right there. I don't know how many times you're actually angling your deep snap, but that's impressive. Impressive.
It's all about the long snap.
Did you guys catch any of the flag football portion of it?
I honestly just saw that one highlight with CJ Stroud going to the left throwing that touchdown on the run. That was pretty cool, actually.
I have no idea what one that is. No.
Stroud, pressure coming.
Oh, you mean this one?
The clip pulled up.
Oh, you mean that one?
Jamar Chase saying he wants to play with them. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw too after the season.
So
had.
he's going to the left. He then flips his hip so he can throw to the right. But watch how tight this ball is. There is literally no wiggle in that spiral. I've seen it from a different angle, and I'm like, man, it's a tight spin. And going opposite of your throwing arm, man, that's tough to do.
That's good strength.
That is tough to do.
I saw Cheetah running away from everyone too.
Oh yeah, like the one play, all you got to do is get him. You get him 5 yards away from everybody else.
Slant and he's gone.
Especially in the Pro Bowl, like nobody's going full speed.
No, he's impossible to catch.
So here's my question. My biggest question to you guys is the NFL Pro Bowl a joke? Should they continue this format in all of the mini games, or should they go back to actually playing a full-on game?
So here's my issue with the Pro Bowl is you have 21 weeks straight of real football, and then you wake up Sunday morning and you got that. Like, to me, that's my issue. Like, it's a big letdown the fact that you don't have a real football game on that Sunday before the Super Bowl. So uh, I don't know. I'm torn. I get what you say, the fun about it and everything, but maybe you make it for like the younger guys. Maybe you make it like kind of like the NBA does with their skills competition, right? Um, because that's not football, man. Like, I mean, and you're not even getting the two best teams players out there because they're getting ready for the Super Bowl. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit of a joke personally. I like seeing those skills. I think that's kind of cool, but the reality is the game itself, like it's not even the same game. Like flag football is becoming a real sport. So now you're taking this sport and saying, wait, now it's flag football. I don't know. For me, it's like I didn't wake up. I wasn't excited to watch any of that. I saw a little bit of the highlights. I saw a little bit of it, but it's like I wasn't gonna sit down and watch 2 hours of that flag football game.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean,
I'll
my
agree
thing
with you with
is,
that.
I mean, it's entertainment, right? Jokes are funny, so it can still be enjoyable, fun to watch. Right after that, in that clip we just watched, who was that? He ran up to the camera and started being the cameraman or whatever. Like, obviously,
That was
this is all,
Chase. That was
yeah,
Jamar.
it's Chase, right? This is all just for fun, right? But you're right. If you want to come watch a football game, you expect a competitive, like, it's like a battle almost. These guys are going head to head. They're putting it all on the line because they want to win and be known and make their paychecks and all that stuff. So it is a way different vibe for sure. It's like
Well, it used to be about pride for the conference, right? And
yeah,
now I don't think you can go back. I think it's done. I think that they've just said this is going to be it, and whatever you do going forward, maybe it's different, but I don't think that they'll go back, and I think that stinks. And I think it should be the old way because again, and maybe it's just me and my age, but I like the old school way, right? I love the fact that these guys would still play for pride, and yeah, we didn't win the Super Bowl, but we're gonna go out there and put on a good show in the Pro Bowl, and I think the players looked forward to it at one point because it was like a vacation spot too. Oh, we're gonna go to Hawaii, we're
Right.
gonna spend some time out there too. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, it
Well,
is similar to the NBA game, where it is for 3 quarters not very competitive, right? Letting the defense kind of relaxing a little bit, but in the fourth quarter it got pretty competitive, right? When the checks were on the line, and it is similar in that sense to the NBA All Star game that it did matter. So I agree with you, John.
I'm gonna tell you right now, nothing will compare to watching a live Pro Bowl game and saying,
oh yeah,
"Wow,
Sean Taylor, baby. Oh, I love that hit. You knocked him
yeah,
the next year.
yeah, go ahead, fake punt in the Pro Bowl. You ain't getting this."
Oh my
You-
god.
Credit to Brian Mormon there, who just got completely plastered on this play. Now, mind you, any hit by Sean Taylor
Oh
was
yeah.
lethal. Like that dude was a straight hammer. And props to him just jumping back up. And say, yeah, okay. I'm not doing that again.
I still think it's a 50-50 shot though that he was walking in the right area because man, he's got level
Yeah.
there. He's got
Yikes.
brain touches toes.
Yikes,
I think.
yikes,
Oh,
yikes.
great.
Oh, just for good memory. We'll watch that just one more time.
Look at
Because he
that.
Lane
doesn't,
opens
he
up, he's
doesn't
like,
see it coming. Oh man, right there. Once the block clears, oh man, there ain't nothing you can do. Boom.
He's like, I got the first down. Oh crap.
Oh my gosh. That's
well, and
great.
you know
then-
what he's looking at, right? He's looking at the guy and he's like, oh, yeah, I got to get this guy out of the way. Oh, no.
Didn't see him coming. Holy
And with the
smokes.
ball flying out like 20 yards down
Oh
down
my
the outside too.
gosh.
That's funny.
It's way too much.
Oh,
Way too
man.
much. But I mean, I feel like we got to get back to that. I understand, like, you don't want to get hurt. Okay, I mean, I completely get that. But if that's the case, then why not have your second stringers go in? I mean, why does it have to be
The All Stars.
I just want to see a game. Whether if it's like, let's get all the rookies together, or the rookie and second years put together a team. Here we go. Let's go.
Here's the thing though with second stringers, like rookies, young guys, they even have less, money guaranteed. Those guys are even probably more nervous about getting injured and ruining their careers. I mean, I'm sure anyone you talk to, you can think of a couple guys that probably could have had a 6-7 year NFL career and end up having one season because they get injured, they get cut, and that's it. And
But
Well, I mean that's why they have the preseason, though. I mean that's all they're doing in the preseason. So, but if you're making it, I mean, everybody that's in the Pro Bowl is making money.
yeah,
The
it's
winners are even
incentivized
making
to make it.
right.
yeah,
So
yeah, I guess so. It's just a lot of risk. I think that I think that's how it is. The players just see it as a big risk for what, you know.
definitely. But then I go onto my Twitter feed and end up seeing half of these guys playing basketball full court.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I
That's
guess not
true.
full contact football, but dang, dude. You
could roll
ain't
that
trying to
ankle.
Yeah,
protect no
exactly.
investment. Get out of here. A lot of coaching news coming out of the NFL. A lot of rumors. Guys getting hired. I think the biggest
Guys
question,
not getting hired.
yeah, guys either getting hired or backing out of certain deals. But the one job I think that we all kind of questioned was Dan Quinn getting hired in Washington. Tell us how you feel, Mike. Tell me how you
I don't get that one, man. I mean, Dan Quinn has proven himself not to be a good coach. I don't get what they're doing over there. I mean, Dallas defense was good this year, but then in the playoffs, we all saw what happened. So I don't know. You're getting a defensive coach to replace a defensive coach. So, we got Ron Rivera Jr. over there as coach number 2 at Washington. I mean, I don't understand why they didn't just get Belichick. I really don't. Like, I mean, maybe he wanted too much control and new leadership over there didn't want to give it to him. That's got to be what it is. But I mean, they got some offensive weapons. They got a great draft pick. I mean, and here you go drafting Dan Quinn. I mean, what's he done? You want some regular season wins? That's fine. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not very impressed with that signing at all. I think they messed up, but I mean, nothing like Washington Commanders to mess up. So
I'll tell you what he's done. He let go of Bieniemy. That's crazy.
that too.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Right.
Who are you going to get to replace him right now? I just, I think he was trying to gel with the team that he got, and he didn't get enough time. I don't know. I am not happy with anything going on in Washington right now.
So rumors have it that Cliff Kingsbury is actually going to go over to Washington because they're actually giving him a 3-year deal, or going to offer him a 3-year deal that he actually wanted. Raiders were only giving him a 2-year deal. A bunch of hearsay, whatever. It is what it is. But interesting enough, if he does end up signing on, if Kingsbury does end up being the OC in Washington, Washington has the number 2 pick, right?
Yeah.
So was it more him wanting to be with Caleb? Wow. I mean, I think the quarterback draft, this draft, is pretty deep. But
I don't know if there's a guarantee Caleb is going to. I think Caleb could still go to Chicago. So I don't know.
Yeah, the push is like, what is Chicago going to do? Are they going to keep? They going to keep Fields and draft Caleb? I doubt that.
Listen, all right. So here's my gripe with Kingsbury. Right, number one, he couldn't do anything with Kyler Murray over there in Arizona. Okay, that was his little protege and whatever. Right. Number two, how good of an offensive coach are you? You were at Texas Tech and had Patrick Mahomes as your QB, and no one knew about this guy in college, right? And now he's like one of the greatest players in currently in the NFL. So, like, I'm sorry, maybe he's just trying to get that extra year and that guaranteed money because he knows he's going to get fired in a year or two. Like, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Like, let's just call it what it is, right? Like, he laid a goose egg in Arizona, right? He had one decent season, but I mean, that was it. And it was all about Kyler Murray, and I could develop this kid and blah, 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 and it just didn't work out. So I think as a Raiders fan, Mike, you should be happy that you dodged that bullet, in my opinion. I do not think he was going to, I mean, he hasn't proved himself in the NFL yet. So yeah, they say he's an offensive guru and all this, but I mean, really, like, I haven't seen it. So that's just my opinion on the guy.
am. I do think we're dodging a bullet there. I don't love the replacement we're rumored to have. Like, if I'm the Raiders, like,
Now that you know
okay, I want
Bieniemy's
a guy.
available, go get him.
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And I think he'd be a great fit for the Raiders. I think he really would.
Absolutely. Back in the
Like,
division
why
too.
not? Exactly. Like, why not? But man, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna pull that off. What up, Matt? What's going on? Your brother's on. Say what's up.
What's up, Matt?
Hey, with all the head coaching jobs filled now, like, what happens to Belichick? I saw that his boy just got hired as a DC for UW.
Washington, yeah.
So what's going on? Why is he not being picked up?
Control. I think it just comes down to control. He wants to manage a franchise, not coach a team, right? And that's what he's used to. And today, there's too many GMs are getting fired, and they're not willing to go out a limb to. I mean, think of all these teams like Washington, right? Not only did they change their coach, they changed their GM, right?
Right.
Chicago, new GM, right? So these new GMs are coming in and they're trying to establish what they want. You don't bring in Belichick to do that, right? I mean, honestly, the perfect fit for him was Dallas, and they just, they figure Lightning's going to strike twice with McCarthy in his 5th year of a contract, winning a Super Bowl. But I mean, other than that, like, they should have just hired him, to be honest. Like that was a perfect fit for him, and it made the most sense. Even Atlanta, I thought, was a little weird when they were interested in him. But yeah, the reality is, no, I don't. I also think it's interesting that the Commanders and the Seahawks both waited for the Detroit guy, Ben Johnson, to.
And then he said
So
no
it's
to
like,
both.
now you know that you're the number 2 guy getting hired, right? Like,
Yeah.
like he just said, I'm out. I'm gonna stay here, and they're like, oh, okay, so we're gonna make our hire now. It's like, come on, man, like. Like, you're the number 2 option. Like, that's a big slap in the face to those 2 franchises, in my opinion, to their coaches.
So
But Belichick may be done. I saw that he put an ad in the newspaper and said he's farewell
You think
to
so?
the Patriots. Yeah, he did.
Oh,
They released a
the
report.
Patriots.
I mean,
Yeah,
to the
I can
Patriots,
see that.
but yeah, I don't know.
I had
could
heard. Go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say I could see him waiting out this year and coming back next year.
Doing
Someone will
a
want
little
him.
Sean Payton.
Yeah,
Taking you rough.
somebody will be like, coach will get fired or whatever. Someone's gonna be. Maybe McCarthy doesn't work out. Dallas gets to pick him up next year or something like that. But some team's going to be hurting, and they're going to be like, you know what, we need to do something. Let's get Belichick. I just don't know. I still feel like he's not done yet. Why would he put his name up? Why would he even go to these job interviews and try to get a head coaching job if he was done? It just doesn't feel like he's done.
Well, he's not done, but are they done with him? That's the thing. It was a different time when he got the control of the Patriots that he did, right? It's now, like I said, these GMs, they gave him full control, and he maximized it. But now teams are a little bit more reluctant to say, hey, here's everything. You get to decide who our drafts are going to be. You get to decide all this stuff. So
maybe he'll end up relinquishing some of that now that he's
that's what I think.
Market, that his market's not as he's not as high in the market as he thought he would be. Maybe so.
Right.
But maybe
he's 72 next year, so he's not a spring chicken.
How old is he?
71 right now.
Dude, man, just retire and enjoy life, right? Dang.
Right.
I heard an interesting take. Who worked with Belichick for a long time, is a long time friend with him, that a lot of franchises now are going with a collaborative effort. Okay, the owner and the GM and the head coach all want to collaboratively have a say in the personnel. Well, how is that going to work when the personnel that you end up getting has to answer to the head coach? When it's all said and done, it's got to be on the head. Like, what are you going to do? Oh, well, I don't answer to you, coach. I answer to the GM. Like, what? He's the one who's paying me, not you, right? And so that made me think about, like, okay, well, if you're not giving your head coach that type of control or power to say, hey, if you're not producing, I'm not going to extend your contract.
Sure.
Like, I don't know how many front offices have a GM and a head coach that are on the same page on everything. Even McDaniels with Ziegler, they were boys like growing up. Ziegler tried to draft CJ Stroud and said, we need to move up to draft CJ. And Josh McDaniels shut him down and said, no, we're rolling with my guy. And so he's like, all right. I mean, what else am I going to do? It's your team. So imagine how the landscape then, how much different that would have been if the Raiders actually did move up and draft CJ. Hopefully we didn't waste his career, but still. Anywho,
I think it's a new generation too. So, and you have to think about that as well. As leaders are supposed to adapt and adjust to the workforce coming in. And
Yeah.
I just said leaders need to adapt and adjust, and we're talking about Bill Belichick. That's not.
Yeah.
It seems like
he's not
oil and water
adjusting.
when you're talking about that, right?
Right.
So, I think that's a huge piece to it as well. As if it's not his way, and somebody who let's just say we're talking about CJ Stroud, right? So he comes in and tells CJ Stroud, "I want it this way and I want it that way," and CJ Stroud's like, "Well, what if I tried something different?" "Nah, I need you to do it the way I tell you to do it," right? And if you think of it that way, if CJ Stroud now then pours out to the team saying, "Hey, this isn't what I want to do," or now it's just this wildfire and stuff. So I can just see this being an issue like that.
Hold on. We got to pause for a moment. Because somebody in here said we got the wrong color red.
Can we kick him off?
Oh man, you gonna start something already?
He's got 2 twin girls that are Swifties, so I mean, that's it might be one of them.
Why don't we come up on that? Let's see. We have John. I'm putting you in the background. Let me know when you come back. We have the Super Bowl, right? We got the Super Bowl coming up with Kansas City versus San Fran. Okay, let me put this up in the banner. Okay. Now, let's talk about the 100-pound elephant in the room. All right, so we got, for all you Swifties that are like, Taylor Swift's number 13, Super Bowl 58, 8 plus 5 is 13. It's played on 2/11, February 11th, 2 and 11 to make 13. Well, guess what? Guess who else is 13? Brock Purdy.
That's right, baby.
And 4 plus 9 is 13. 49ers.
He said the Niner fans dissing KC at Allegiant tonight.
Well, okay.
I'm good with that.
I called a truce with Raiders today, but now I have an issue with you giving us the crappy field, man. What is up with that?
First off,
is that not the Raiders? That's like wrong. How we get the UNLV stadium?
Here's what I don't get. You're the owner of the franchise, right? You own this $1 billion stadium. This is where I don't get where his mindset is. But Mark Davis, man, you gonna let your in-division rival take your practice facility? No, bro. You give them the crappy field. What are you doing?
We're not in the Bay. This ain't the Battle of the Bay anymore, right?
No.
Oh my god.
Like our rivalry's over with you guys. Now it's you and the Chiefs, and we're on a little soggy field. And did you see it? Did you see the pictures of that?
No, I missed the pictures, but I did read about it.
Terrible.
How like the NFL came in.
Circus?
Well, what they did is
it's like
so they took the
we're at the UNLV.
Yep, they took the
Outdoor.
UNLV field, which is a turf field, and the NFL threw some sod over it. And so then it's like, wait, what?
That makes sense.
They said
How?
that
How does
the
how does that make sense?
the
No, it doesn't. It
NFLPA
doesn't.
rates fields, and that a rating has to be above 70 in order to be like proper by NFL standards. They said that this field is in the 50s that the Niners are practicing on.
And Goodell came out and
Oh
said,
my gosh.
"Well, we had a couple people out there, 22, whatever people out there that know how these fields are supposed to look, and they all say it's going to be okay."
Yeah.
But he's not out there taking a look at it, because I promise you, if it was me and I was in charge of the league and someone says, "Hey, we got a question about it," yeah, I'll probably fly out there and make sure that everything's what it's supposed to be.
Just
Yeah,
ridiculous.
they got to, and today was just a walkthrough. So I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm hoping by tomorrow we honestly have a new facility. Like let us use Allegiant Stadium then. Like if this is
Sure.
gonna be an issue, like you gotta come up. I mean, the rainstorm we've been having is going to Vegas next, I assume. So like this isn't getting better, in the next couple days. So like, what's the solution? Because that's a problem. You can't have one team practicing an indoor, beautiful facility and then seeing, the Niners in a flooded end zone. I mean, the picture they showed on Twitter was literally indoor facility for the Raiders, like super immaculate, and then the back corner of the end zone just completely flooded with water in the Niners UNLV facility. It was terrible.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So just to refresh from last week, Mike, you ended up taking the Niners 24-23. John's taking the Niners winning 24-20.
24-20. Yep.
Drew, you got the Niners winning 14-10 in a low scoring game. And then I'm taking the Niners 27-24. Sorry, Matt.
So I was about
You got
to
no
say,
KC fans here, bro.
So all the red may not match, but the consistency is still the same. That everybody on here thinks the Niners are going to win, brother.
Right? Oh man, it's
And
it's
everyone's
interesting.
betting on KC. I don't know if you saw that, but like literally, they said 86% of the bets are on KC, and the line moved from 2.5 down to 1. Niners favored, and now it's back up to 2.5 by the Niners. They said by kickoff. So there was a lot of liability on people picking the Niners at the beginning of the season.
Sure.
So Vegas was going to get hit hard by the time that if Niners won. They said by the time the game starts, if it continues with the trend it is, that there will be more of a liability on Kansas City than there is on the Niners, which is pretty incredible. So everyone's
That's crazy.
betting on KC, and Vegas usually isn't wrong. So I mean, I'm hoping they're right this time, and the Niners just come out and win that game, man. I'm excited. I am a little worried that Kansas City's getting an Arsenal back this week. Little infantry, few guys. Jerick McKinnon used to be in our system, although it was a few years back, but not happy about that. And then they're getting a couple other guys, but
he did well. I think last year in the Super Bowl. So they get Sky Moore back. Young receiver, but has a lot of potential. And then Joe Thuney, I think, is what his name is. So they get a lineman back too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hope it doesn't matter.
You know what? When they're healthy, we're healthy. It don't make a difference. Like I'm glad. I don't want any excuses that they weren't healthy, right? Like we're healthy. Let's get them healthy. So
how many weeks has Debo been resting now? It's like he had 2 weeks off, and he played a game. Get 2 more weeks off. Like this guy's gonna be ready to go, man. So you'll be all right.
Good.
Last time he played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, he was a rookie and he did pretty well. So
yeah,
it's gonna be good. Bosa was a rookie too that year. I mean, we had a lot of young people, but that sting is still there. Kittle talked about it, right? Like that rematch, that scar is there, and we need to overcome that for sure.
Yes, we do.
Definitely gotta. I mean, it's super hard to try to bet against Mahomes, right? He does so many unorthodox things that you can't necessarily plan for. Like, who do you get to play scout team quarterback that week? Like, it ain't me. Well, all right, let me improvise and try to sidearm this thing. No look that way. Like, all right. But it's so hard to bet against him. It's hard to bet against. I mean, KC's got two really good coaches on both sides of the ball. It's hard to bet against them because they got them playing really well right now. They're peaking at the right time. But I'm still going with the 49ers.
I was gonna say, I'm like, are you changing your pick here, Mike? Because if I could put you backstage real quick, I will. Man, yeah, like there's a lot of storylines, right? But like you got shut down Kelsey. Like that's just if Sky Moore beats us, if Valdez Scantling beats us, and so be it, right? It is what it is. But we can't lose to Kelsey going off. We can't lose to Mahomes doing. When he does half of his no look stuff, and it's going to Kelsey, right?
Yep.
So his improvisation, him and Kelsey are on the same page, right? And so we gotta shut that down. And if we do that and shut the running game down, I mean, we make someone else beat us. That's what it is. And we got Fred Warner there. We got Dre Greenlaw there. We got linebackers to cover Kelsey in theory, right? Kinlaw needs to get better in the run game. But I mean, he's never been really good at stopping the run. But we need to just a collective effort. We got to start from the moment it starts and go hard. And I think we'll be all right if that happens.
We need to see the defensive line earn their money, right?
Yep.
I could care less about whatever game happened in the past, but we are talking about the Super Bowl. So earn your money. We pay all these defensive linemen. We invest so much time and effort into these draft picks. Earn your money and stop the run. Make them one-dimensional. Yes, that might be scary in telling in saying that to Mahomes, but make them throw to these other receivers who get uncomfortable in big in big games about trying to catch the ball 2, 3, 4 times, right? And make them play the way that we hope that we can make them play. So
I'll tell you why Drew's super excited for the Super Bowl. It has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. It's got nothing to do with the actual Super Bowl. He is so ready for us to move on to the NBA. He's like, when is football over? Please. I just got one more week. I just got to survive one more week. All right.
We're almost there, Drew. We're almost there.
That's all right. No, I love the NFL, guys. Don't worry about it. I watched the whole game this year, so that's pretty good.
The Dolphins.
The whole Dolphin game.
The whole Dolphin game, yeah.
Speaking of the NBA, Drew and I are not going to be so excited hearing John and Mike talk about how well the Clippers are doing this year. We'll take it though. Whatever it is, it's fine.
They have the best record since December 1st, so they are playing really well. Well, it's like 22-5 or something like, or I don't remember what it is, but it's hilarious. Right after the Harden trade, right? They lose 5 in a row. Everyone's like, "Wow, this is a terrible move." And Ty Lue, man, made a few adjustments, and all of a sudden they're the best team in the NBA. It's pretty crazy.
So
that's the understatement. Ty Lue's making this work, man. I love Ty Lue. I'm kind of upset the Lakers just didn't pay him to stay. That was a whole thing, but
you're not wrong about that. I would also say too, there's some unselfishness going on over there too, and I really like that. You don't hear that a lot from the teams. And so when Westbrook's like, "Hey, I don't have to start. You can take me. Let me come off the bench." Awesome, right? Awesome, because Westbrook's not just a slouch out there.
And not only that, but he's only playing 18, 20 minutes, and he's fine with it. And he has productive. I mean, he's got to be one of the best $2 million guys in the NBA. It's pretty crazy.
You saw him come on. Well, I mean, I can speak specifically about today, but come off the bench and the game's real close, and all of a sudden he comes in, dunks the ball, but gives them that momentum. Is got 3 or 4 assists a game, and it's consistent. And especially in the second half, and he's just doing his thing out there. I love it, man. Like right now, this team's rolling, and they're gelling well together. Again, there's a lot of unselfishness. You don't see Kawhi forcing the ball to come to him. It's almost like they're taking turns at times, and one night it's a big night for Kawhi, next night it's a big night for PG, and no one's outspoken about, hey, I need the ball so many times, I need so many touches. It's really neat.
Well, this is the longest them two have been playing together in a whole season, right?
Yeah, I wasn't
I mean,
gonna
let's.
say that because I know how weak those knees and ankles get, but
I'm knocking
yeah,
on all kinds of wood,
yeah,
but still,
yeah,
like
This
this is what we expected 4 years ago when they signed.
correct.
here's the thing. If you told me Kawhi's is being unselfish on unselfish team, that's like normal for Kawhi. Like that's who that
Right.
guy is. He's on the Spurs. He played with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan. Even with the Raptors, even though he was the guy, Lowry, Van Vliet, Pascal Siakam wasn't even a thing until he got there. Like I didn't even heard of that guy. And all of a sudden he's like an all-star and he continued playing really well. So Kawhi, I'm always like, yeah, that's pretty normal. But if you told me that Westbrook and Harden were
Harden,
being
yeah.
called unselfish, I never would have believed that for a second. I was like, what? Like this is the craziest thing. I never would have believed that. And these are two guys that, as good as they are, they were frustrating for me to watch because I just felt like I just felt like they did too much. It was boring at times to watch them because it was just like dribble, 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 get fouled.
Yeah.
That was Harden all day. Dribble, 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 drive, fouled, crazy step back three. And you're like, dude, like, I don't want to see some guy shoot 20 free throws a game, man. This as cool as that is. Like, I understand that's how you win, but like, it was frustrating and kind of boring to watch sometimes. Westbrook, same thing, dribble, dribble, dribble. He only passed to get the assist in OKC. I'm sorry. There's a reason why he was a triple double king because he passed to get that assist. He didn't always make that first pass that would go to the second pass on the swing or whatever to make the best play. Unlike the Warriors, where you see them when you saw them with their big team, that ball moved. Steph, Clay, Durant. That's why they were so unstoppable. These guys moved the ball well together. They wasn't all just one on one. It wasn't about trying to get stats. And so right now the Clippers are kind of, they're doing some of this magic too. So they're going to be a tough team. And let's face it, Kawhi Leonard, healthy. Is there anyone better than him? Seriously, like when Kawhi Leonard's
Best two-way
healthy,
player in the game.
yeah, the only guys you're arguing with is Giannis, Jokic. That's who the kind of guys you're talking about when Kawhi
Sure.
Leonard is healthy and he's balling. That's the argument. Is he as good as Jokic? Is he as good as Giannis? Is he as good as Embiid? Like that's it. That's the list. So at this point, right? If LeBron was young, we could have a different conversation. But right now in this year, that's it. That's his competition for best player in the league when he's healthy. So yeah, Clippers look good, man. This is kind of their time. Knock on wood
Well,
some more, Mike.
Just
I've been
just
doing it the whole time you're talking.
just so after this Sunday, hopefully Niners take it all. And then what we'll do for everybody else is we'll take off our Niners gear and then we'll put on our Clippers gear. And then for the rest of the season, we'll just have Clippers gear. So it's not a big deal.
All right, I'm wearing my Lakers stuff next week, man. I don't
If you
care if
wait a
Lakers are
couple more
82.
weeks, it'll be on clearance. You should get a better rate.
Lakers could be
All right.
0 and 82, man. They'll still have the highest selling jerseys in the league. So.
That's true.
All right,
Yeah,
Mike.
they got crazy fans.
Here's my question for you, for both of you and John. What or who do you think was the biggest draft pick for the 49ers? I'll let you think
This
about
year?
it for a minute.
This year.
Oh, and I no, not this year. I will say within the last 8. We'll say within the last 10 years. Within the last 10 years, who is the biggest draft pick you guys picked up?
I got mine.
Go ahead.
You go
Mike.
first.
George Kittle.
I was about don't you
Think
say
George
mine.
Kittle?
Don't you say mine.
Okay.
Good job.
I think he's the emotion. We got him late. I mean, he developed and he's literally what makes that team go hard. I really think that he's the catalyst. I mean, he has fun out there. You saw the highlights. I don't know if you guys saw the highlights of him in that last game versus the Lions. He's like, I know we're down at halftime, but we're gonna come back and win this game. And there's like 8 clips of him saying this to people in the first half. Then even in the locker room, there's a clip. Hey guys, we're gonna come back. And at the end of the game, what's he say? I told you guys the whole game we're gonna come back, right? I had no worries at all. Like I manifest this, And then he's throwing Hutchinson on the ground. I mean, he's blocking arguably one of the best, pass rushers in the league, and he's just throwing him down and joking around with them using Michigan words. I mean, guy just has fun out there, plays the game the right way. and is a stud, and it has Brock Purdy's back, has from day one. So I'm gonna go with Kittle. I like Kittle. I'm a big Kittle fan.
John?
So when I think about it, I think Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman.
Yeah.
I think if Chris Borland would have hung on, I think he would have still been good. I know he stepped out for personal reasons. And then you think, man, who was going to be that next linebacker? And when they drafted
Warner.
Fred Warner in the 3rd round, and you think, oh, I'm not that there's anything wrong with BYU, right? But I just think, a lot of people gave him less credit for coming out of BYU, and it wasn't like a larger school, right? But if you watch his tape at BYU, and I don't say that a lot because I haven't watched a ton of college, but I had watched Fred Warner, and I was like, man, this kid's going to be great. And when we drafted him, I was like, ooh, like I knew about him. I didn't know if anybody else did. So I was really excited. And then to just see the player that he is now, he's everything that Kittle is for the defense, right? He's just the heart and soul of that defense. He grabs players, and he'll hold you accountable. He grabs players by the face mask and say, you're doing this wrong, and here's what you're doing wrong, and let me tell you, right? But I love that. But he is just the heart and soul of that defense, and I don't think we are even half as good as what we are without him, that defense.
Agreed.
I'm going to go on an edge and say that if the Niners win the Super Bowl, if they end up winning the Super Bowl, we'll say Brock Purdy has a good game. We all know Brock Purdy was the last pick, but I'm going to say one of the more crucial picks that you guys had was CJ Beathard. Because without CJ Beathard, you would not have had the compensation pick that ended up being
The
Brock
last pick in
Purdy.
the yeah.
Oh, fair. Yep, you're right.
Yep. If he didn't pan out the way he panned out, and you guys wouldn't have gotten that compensation pick, and Brock Purdy his story wouldn't have even mattered.
If Niners win the Super Bowl on Sunday,
there we go.
There will be movies. Remember that movie about Kurt Warner? There will be movies.
Yeah.
There will be movies about Brock Purdy. I mean, there will be, and it'll be soon because the guy, his story is just incredible. I mean, ultimate teammate. Now they're trying to talk about these stories coming out that the Niners wanted Brady and blah blah blah. And what's Purdy say? Hey, if I have a chance to get the GOAT, I'm gonna get him too. Right? Like they're trying to create controversy with this guy, and this guy is just like, he's not. All these players that are like, oh, they drafted me last and they passed up on him. I gotta go show him. I gotta prove something. I gotta do this. That's not Brock Purdy. He's like, man, grace to God. I'm happy to be here. I want to glorify him. That's what he's all about. Like, I mean, look at it. Listen to every press conference he has. Like, the guy is one of the most humble dudes you will meet. Moments not too big, and it's not about him. It's all about team. It's all about team.
He is, but I will say that I think it's great that he stood up to Cam Newton and he said something to the effect of, "There's like 90 other quarterbacks out there, bro, and you're not one of
them." So, here, I guess my biggest issue: where did the shift go? Like, where did the shift come from? We had stories like this of quarterbacks before, right? With Kurt Warner, comes out of nowhere, was bagging groceries, came off the street, right? All of a sudden wins the Super Bowl MVP. Everybody loves that underdog story. All of a sudden, Brock Purdy comes along with this amazing underdog story, and people are giving him crap. Like, what?
I know.
Where did the turn come from? Like, I don't understand why everybody keeps giving him crap. Like, the guy's clearly been the underdog his entire life, or whatnot, and has this amazing story. Now he said, and you just are putting the guy down. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
I just think if the Ravens can win a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer, and if we're being dead honest, I think Brock Purdy is a huge upgrade over Trent Dilfer at his prime, and Brock Purdy's not even in his prime yet. Leave the kid alone. I think he's doing everything you ask him to do, right? And we keep comparing stats to Purdy versus Aaron Rodgers and Purdy versus this quarterback and that quarterback. He's doing what we need him to do. He's got a great attitude. He's a great teammate. I don't know what else you want, right? He's cheap. That's great. Right?
Here's the thing, though, John, with that Trent Dilfer comparison is we all know Baltimore's defense won them that Super Bowl, right?
Sure.
Whereas it is the Niners' offense that has literally put them in the edge of that. So you got to give the guy some credit. Like, yes, we have a lot of, so he's being downgraded as a quarterback because he has talent around him. I mean, come on. Like, maybe this is a lesson for some of these quarterbacks that maybe you should take a little bit of a pay cut and surround yourself with weapons, right? Don't get mad, Mahomes, that you don't have anyone to throw to because you're getting paid $500 million.
Top dollar.
Right? Like, I mean, you don't need to take what Brock's getting, obviously. I mean, that's he deserves more. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, these quarterbacks are getting paid so much money to be the guy. I mean, Dolphins got to deal with it. Are they going to pay Tua? Should they pay Tua? Like I don't know.
They're
if
working
you
on
locked up.
They're working
Yeah,
on
but
an
I mean,
extension.
is
It's not gonna be big. I mean, it's going to be reasonable based off of where he's at, but it's not going to be a $50 million contract, right? But
Right,
they're
it
saying
shouldn't be.
if Purdy wins this one, I don't think he can't get extended until I think he's got 2 more seasons, right? Till he can get extended, something like that. It won't
So
be
we
next
could
season.
extend that. We could restructure though at the end of this season.
You could restructure, but you can't extend.
Right.
So
So
you
do
can
we
move money
restructure?
around, but you can't. Well, you can and then is that a reward? So do you? Well, I don't even know. He doesn't have a ton of money, so you could. I don't. What's the restructure going to do, really? You can't
Yeah.
front load. You can't front load his 400,000. Like, it's not going to really. I'm not being a jerk, but it's not going to do too much
Yeah.
for him, right? So I would just assume that you'd wait until you can extend him, and then you extend him because he was a top 10, 5, whatever anybody wants to say it. He's a top quarterback. So
You
you're
can
going to
afford
have
a
to pay him.
studio, right, in San
At some
Francisco?
I
You
With
can
the
still afford a
roommate,
studio
yeah.
apartment over there.
With the
I don't know,
roommate.
man. San Francisco's pretty expensive.
And he got
Well,
that. He got
Maybe a
that
closet.
Toyota contract. So I mean,
That's
at
right.
least he's
Yeah.
got
Get him
good
some.
money
Get him some
coming in.
endorsements and
Jeez.
stuff. But here's the
Yeah.
thing, John. Let me ask you. Okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay.
Couldn't one make the same argument about Jalen Hurts last year?
Could have,
Top
but he didn't
5.
win. But he didn't win.
Top 5 quarterback in the league, and I mean, he was getting paid, not a lot. And now the guy, they give him a big contract extension, one of the higher paid quarterbacks in the league, and you're kind of like, what did Philly do?
Yeah, but I also think so. Okay, so devil's advocate to that. Can quarterbacks not have a good year? Because he just didn't have a good year this year. Sorry, But I also think that last year, and Oscar, I hope you're listening because I don't say this a lot. But I do think Jalen Hurts earned his money last year, and it's for what happened within the year. If you want to base it off of what happened 2 or 3 seasons ago, then maybe I would still say yeah, right, to Jalen Hurts. This last season wasn't great. And so be it. He was actually good at the beginning of the season. And I think something fell off to me, and no one's asking me. But if somebody asked me, why do I think Jalen Hurts fell off a little bit? I think there's some animosity in the locker room, and it's spilling out right now. So be it, right? And everyone's trying to figure out how to deal with that animosity because Philadelphia paid a ton of money to a ton of really good players, and there's a ton of ego there. And some people can't swallow it and move forward. So whatever that is none of my business because I'm not in the locker room, right? But I would say that, if Brock Purdy wins it and, top 5, top 10, however he's recognized, then when the time comes, he should probably be paid like it, And especially if these rumors are true where, Shanahan came out and was telling, Jed York, hey, the number 3 quarterback's actually going to be the number 1 in a couple of years. If he likes him and he wants to ride with him and he's feeling that comfortable a year or 2 ago, why wouldn't you just, pay him what he's due and keep him on the team for a while? But maybe you talk to him and say, hey, look, maybe you are a $50 million quarterback, but maybe we should pay you 40 because if you want to keep some players around you, you're going to have like Tom Brady, right? You're going to have to not be the highest paid quarterback so we can continue to have weapons around you, or we can give you all the money in the world because you earned it and you're going to have to figure it out from there. What do you want? Right. And I think to some degree, he would be smart enough to say, and this is just guessing, but I would assume he'd say, "Hey, I like the weapons that are around me. I want that to continue. So, maybe he doesn't take top money. I don't know.
This is my advice to the rest of the quarterbacks, the NFL quarterbacks that are watching this podcast, because we know they all do, right? All 90 of them. That there was a quarterback that used to take discounts so that he could get more weapons around him, and that guy's still considered the GOAT. Tom Brady took a couple discounts a couple times just to keep more weapons around him. Might be something you might want to consider. Anywho,
similar to what LeBron James does in basketball for many years of his career, right? He was for a lot of years he wasn't the highest paid player on his own team. I think till he went to the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. So, which I would love to talk about the whole Bronny situation at some point.
We will in the future.
I can't wait to talk about that because I got some strong opinions on that.
Anyways, all right, my guys, we're gonna wrap this up. If you like what you see, please subscribe to us on YouTube at Jam Pack Podcast. Click on the notification button so you can view us live. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Jam Pack Podcast and on Twitter at Jam Pack Pod. I'm Mike from John, Mike, and Andrew. We are Jam Packed, and we'll see you next time. Later, guys.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
See you guys.